So here's the turbine. Just spins away down here 24 hours a day. It makes a little bit of power and keeps the batteries charged. It's a 48 volt DC permanent magnet alternator with a little 5-inch diameter Pelton wheel in there. So the water comes down and shoots through a jet and hits that little wheel, and that spins the alternator. Very simple. So we built it to be easy to service. So this is just kind of sitting here. Easily comes up. And here's the runner. This is a cast bronze Pelton wheel that's attached to the shaft of the alternator to directly drive the alternator. And there's 4 jets or nozzles that shoot the water under pressure into the cups here of the runner and spin the alternator. This is designed to take the maximum amount of the energy available from the water and turn it into rotational energy. So then the water just drops out from the bottom. Once it's hit the runner, all the energy's gone. It drops out and drops in here, and then it goes in that underground pipe, which sends the water back into the creek. So this is the power system equipment. The power comes up the hill from the hydro as 48 volts DC and comes through these circuit breakers, charging the battery. These are 6-volt forklift batteries, deep cycle lead acid batteries. They're 6 volts each, and so I have 8 of them wired in series, positive to negative to make 48 volts nominally for the whole bank. And this bank is rated for about 350 amp hours at 48 volts, which is enough to run the house for a couple of days if we have trouble with the hydro and we need to go off of battery power. And that box over there is the AC circuit breaker enclosure that takes the AC current on this side of the inverter and distributes it to the various loads around here. By adding a second inverter, I can get 240 volts AC and up to 5 kilowatts continuous output at 240 volts AC, which will probably be enough for most things I have up here unless I get a big table saw, in which case I might go to have 3 of them and I can do 3-phase power at 208 volts. You know, we run all of our electrical appliances and lights off of this system now, just 120 volts, and we can run everything in the house at the same time. When everything is going, because we also have an electric hot water tank, which is pretty unusual in an off-grid home. If this were a solar electric home, we would have to have another type of fuel source to heat the water. Making hot water with electricity takes quite a bit of electricity. And so we're lucky in having the continual charging output of the hydro generator to be able to make hot water. But when everything's on and the hot water heater is on and the refrigerator kicks on, and then you use the microwave, then you're starting to push the limits of this inverter. But that's why I can add more inverters, and then there won't be that limit, you know, for running larger machines and power tools and stuff. Should be no problem. This same inverter can be used to feed back into the grid. We're off the grid out here. We're 1,200 feet or so from the Opalco power lines, and when we were starting to build, I got an estimate from Opalco, and it was going to be 12 to 14,000, something like that, just for the wires and the transformer to bring power back in here. And with the hydro, you know, that whole system was cost about half of that, all of this. And so we have no desire to bring in Opalco. We're happily off the grid.